Second 4. Om ShriRam Charitmanas, the Mansa lake containing the exploits of the ShriRama. Descent 4. Lovely as the jasmine and blue lotus of the surpassing strength, repository of the wisdom endowed with the natural grace, excellent bowmen, hired by the Vedas, and lovers of the cows and the Brahmas, who appear in the form of the mortal man through their own Maya deluding potency, as the two noble sessions of the Raghu, the armor of the true religions, friendly to all and journeying in the quest for Sita. May they both grant us devotion. Blessed are those pious souls who ceaselessly quaff the nectar of the Sri Rama's name, churn out the ocean of the Vedas, while completely destroy the sin of the Kali age and knows no decay, which shines ever bright in the most beautiful moon-like mouth of the glorious Shambhu. Lord Shiva, palatable remedy to the disease of the transmigration, very life of the Sita, Janaka's daughter. Why not reside in the Kaushi, the modern Varanasi, the abode of the Shambhu and the Bhavani goddess Parvati, knowing it to be the birthplace of the Mukti, final beatitude, the mind of the spiritual wisdom and destroyer of the sin of stupid mind? How is it that you do not worship him who drank of the deadly vehement, churned out the ocean of the milk, the very presence of which was burning all the host of the gods, who else is so merciful as Lord Shankara? The Lord of Raghu proceeded still further and approached the Rasyamukha hills. There dwelt Sugriva, monkey chief, with his counselors. When he saw the two brothers, the very embodiment of immeasurable restraint, he was exceedingly alarmed and said to one of the ministers, "Listen, Hanumana, those who men are repository of the strength and the beauty, disguised as the Brahmans, students, go and see them, and perceiving their intention in your mind, whom form me accordingly by means of the sign. If they have been dispatched by the malicious Vali, I must leave this hill and flee away at once." Taking the form of the Brahmans, the monkey Hanumana went up to the two brothers and bowing his head accosted them thus: "Who are you heroes? One of the dark hue, the other fair, that roam the woods disguised as a Kshatriya, treading the hard ground with your tender feet. Wherefore are you wandering in the forest, my master, though possessed of the delicate, charming and the beautiful limbs? How is it that you have exposed yourself to the scorching sun and stormy wind of these wild regions? Do you count in Trinity, that is Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, the creator, preserver, destroyer of the three worlds? Or are you the twin divine sakes, Nara and Narayana? Or are you the Lord of all the spheres, the prime cause of the worlds, and manifest in human form to bridge the ocean of the mundane existence, relieve the burden of the earth? We are sons of the King Dasharatha, Lord of the Kaushala, and have come to the forest in obedience of our father's commands. We two brothers are called by the name of Ravana and the Lakshmana. We had with us a pretty and delicate girl, the daughter of the King Vidya, who has been carried away by some demon here. It is the quest of her that we are moving about, O holy sir. Brahmans, we have furnished you with our account in some detail. Now tell us your story in a comprehensive manner, O good Brahmans." Now Hanumana recognized his lord and falling to the ground clasped his feet. That joy Uma was more than could be described. A thrill ran through his body and no words came to his lips as he gazed on the lovely style of his dress. Then recovering himself, he sang his praises and was glad at heart to have found his master. "It was quite in the fitness of the things that I cautioned my lord. But how is it that you ask me like a mortal? I have been roving in error under the spell of your Maya deluding potency. It was this reason that I failed to recognize my lord. In the first place, I am dull-witted and deluded, weak at heart and ignorant to crown all my masters, who are befriender of the humble and are no other than the Almighty Lord. Yourself had forgotten me. Humble and are no other than the Almighty Lord yourself had forgotten me. Ramayana. Although my lord, I have many faults, let not the servant be cast into the oblivion by the master. The Jiva, O Lord, is deluded by your Maya and can be redeemed only by your grace. On top of it, I swear by the hero of Raghurai, I know neither adoration nor any other means of pleasing you. A servant depends on his master and a child on its mother, and both remain free from anxiety. For a master need must take care of his servants. So saying, he fell at the Lord's feet and agitated. His heart was overwhelmed with love, and he manifested his own monkey form. The Lord of Raghu then lifted and clasped him to his bosom and soothed him by the wetting him with the tears in his eyes. "Listen, O Hanumana, be not depressed at heart. You are twice as dear to me as Lakshmana. Everyone says that I look upon all with the same eye, but a devotee is particularly dear to me because he too depends on none but me. And he alone, Hanumana, is exclusively devoted to me, who is steadfast in his conviction that he is a servant and that the as manifested from the Lord, whole animated and inanimated creation is his master. When Hanuman, the son of the wind god, found his master so terrible to him, his rejoicing at heart and all his agony gone. My lord, on the summit of his hills dwells Sugriva, the chief of the monkey. He is a servant of yours. Make friend with him, my lord, knowing him to be the affliction, rid him of all fear. He will have Sita tracked by the drafting millions of monkeys in every direction in search of her. Having thus explained to him everything, he lifted both the brothers on his back and took them to the place where the Sugriva was. When Sugriva saw ShriRama, he accounted his birth as highly blessed. He reverently advanced to meet him and bowed his hat at his feet. While the lord of Raghu and his younger brother embraced him in return, the monkey chief pondered thus within himself, "Will the good heavens make friends with me?" The Hanuman related all the circumstances of both sides, and having installed the sacred fire as a witness, he concluded a firm alliance between ShriRama and Sugriva. The alliance was thus unreservedly concluded, and Lakshmana narrated all the past history of the ShriRama. Said Sugriva with his eyes full of the tears, "The daughter of the Janaka, the lord of Mithila, my lord, will be surely recovered. On one occasion, when I sat here deliberating with my counselor, I saw that saw her fallen in the enemy's hands and being borne through the air loudly wailing, crying, 'Rama, Rama, my Rama.' She dropped her scarf when she saw us. When ShriRama asked for that, he handed it over to him, and once ShriRama pressed it to his bosom and grieved much. Said Sugriva, 'Listen, O hero of the Raghu line, sorrow no more and take courage in your heart. I will render service to you in every way, so that Janaka's daughter may come and see you.' The ocean of mercy, who was at the same time the embodiment of the physical strength, rejoiced to hear his allies' words. 'Tell me, Sugriva, why have you come to stay in the forest?' 'My lord, Vali and myself are two brothers. The affection that exists between us was past all telling. Once upon a time, O lord, the son of the demon Maya, who was known by the name of the Mayavi, came to our town Kishkinda. At dead of the night, he called out at the dead of the gate of the town. Vali could not brook his enemy's challenge to about and sailed forth to meet him. But when he saw Vali coming, he took to flight. I too had accompanied my brother. The enemy went and entered the cave of the big mountain. The Vali gave instructions to me, await my return till a fortnight. If I did not return, then take me as slain. When I have waited there for a month, O slayer of the Khara, a copious stream of blood issued from the cave. I therefore conclude that the demon had slain Vali, and that he would come and kill me too. Accordingly, I blocked the mouth of the cave with a rock and fled away. When the ministers saw the town without a master, they forced me to accept the throne. Meanwhile, Vali, who had killed the enemy, returned home and saw me installed on the throne. He nursed a grudge against me in his heart. He gave me a most severe beating as he would an enemy, and robbed me of all that I had, including my wife, for fear of him. O gracious hero of Raghuline, I wandered all over the world in a pitiable conditions. A curse prevents him from coming over here, yet I remain ill at ease in my mind. When the gracious Lord heard of his devotee's distress, both his long arms started throbbing, thus showing his martial spirit as well as his determination to punish Vali. Listen, Sugriva, I will kill Vali in a single arrow. His life will not be saved, even if he take refuge with Brahma, the creator, or even with Rudra, Lord Shiva. ShriRam, ShriRam, ShriRam. ShriRamayana, 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 ShriRamayana. One would incur great sin by very sight of those who are not distressed to the distress of a friend. A man should regard his own mountain-like troubles as of no more account than a mere grain of the sands, while the troubles of the friend should appear to him like Mount Sumeru, though really they may be as trifling as a grain of sand. Those who are not of such temperament presume in vain to make friends with anybody. A friend should restrain his companions from the evil path and lead him on the path of the virtue. He should proclaim the latter's good points and screen his faults, should give and take things without any scruples, and serve his friend's interest to the best of his ability, and finding him in distress, love him 800 times more than ever. The Vedas declare these to be the quality of the noble friend. He, however, who contrives to speak blunt words to your face and harm you behind your back, and and harbors some evil design in his heart, and whose mind is in torturous as a movement of the snake, is unworthy friend, and one had better bid goodbye to such a friend. A stupid servant, a stingy eunuch, a bad wife, and a false friend. These foes are the tormenting like a pike, relying on my strength. Dear friend, grieve no more. I will serve your cause in every way possible, said Sugriva. Listen, O hero of the race. Vali possessed immense strength and is exceedingly staunch in a battle. He then showed him Dandubuki bones and the 7 palm trees which were struck down by the Lord of the Raghu without any exertion. When Sugriva witnessed Sri Rama's immeasurable strength, his affection for him grew all the more, and he was now satisfied at he would succeed in killing Vali. He bowed his head at his feet again and again, and was delighted at heart to recognize the Lord. When the light of wisdom dawned on him, he said, My mind, O Lord, has been set at rest by your grace, renouncing pleasure, prosperity, home, personal glory, and all. I will render service to you. All these are stumbling blocks on the path of devotion to the Sri Rama yourself. So declare saints given to the worship of your feet. Pairs of the opposites such as friend and foes, joy and sorrow in this world are product of the Maya illusion and have no reality. Vali is my greatest friend, by whose grace I will have met you. Rama, the allayer of the sorrow, on awakening from the dream, when the man come to know the identity of him with whom he had fought in the dream, he feels abashed. Now, my lord, do me this favor that I may renounce all and worship your night and day. On hearing the words of the Sugriva, imbued as they were with this patience, Sri Rama, who held a bow in his hand, smiled and said, Whatever you have said is all true, but my words with friends can never be otherwise. Sri Rama, says the saints Kakushan, O Garuda, king of the worlds, make us all dance, even as a juggler would make his monkey dance. So declare the Vedas. Taking Sugriva with him, the Lord of Raghu proceeded with a bow and arrow in his hands, and then the Lord of Raghu sent Sugriva, who is strengthened by Sri Rama's thunders under the very nose of the Vali. On hearing his roar, Vali sailed forth frantic with fury. His wife, however, clasped his feet with her hands and warned him thus, Listen, my lord, the two brothers with whom Sugriva has concluded an alliance are the unapproachable majesty and the might. They are no other than the Sri Rama and Lakshmana, the son of the king Dashratha, the lord of Kaushala, who can conquer death himself on the field of a battle. Said Vali, Listen, my timid darlings, the Lord of the Raghu looks upon all with the same eyes. Even if he kills me, I will attain his divine abode and have him as my eternal Lord. So saying, they sailed forth in great pride, thinking no more for the Sugriva than a blade of grass. The two brothers closed with each other. Vali beat Sugriva and striking him with the fist rode in the thundering voice. Sugriva, now freed in dismay, and returns to Sri Rama. The stroke of his clenched fist has fallen on him and bowled from the heaven. What did I say, gracious hero Raghunath? This is no brother of mine, but death himself. You two brothers had identical appearance. It was because of his confusion that I did not kill him. He struck Sugriva's body with his hands, and lo, it became as hard as adamant. All the pain was gone. He put on his neck a wreath of the flowers, and giving him enormous strength, sent him back. Again the two brothers fought in many ways, while the Lord of Raghu watched them from behind a tree. When Sugriva had tried many a trick and exerted all his might, he lost heart and felt much alarm. Sri Rama then drew his arrows and shot Vali in the heart. Struck by the shaft, Vali fell on the ground, smarting with pain. Again he sprang up and sat. When he saw the Lord before him, dark of the hue, with his matted hair coiled on his head, bloodshot eyes, and the bow still drawn, gazing on him again and again, he fixed his heart on his feet. Now that he recognized the Lord, he felt that he had realized the reward of his birth. Although his heart was full of love, the words on his lips were harsh. Looking towards Sri Rama, he said, Even though, my lord, you descends on the earth for the holding rightness, you have killed me as a hunter would I, your enemy, and Sugriva, your dear friend. For what fault did you take my life, my lord? Listen, O wretch, you and your brother's wife, a sister, daughter-in-law, and one's own daughter, these four are alive. One would incur no sin by killing him who look upon these and evil eyes. Fool, in your extravagant pride, you paid no heed of your wife's warning. You knew that your brother had taken refuge under the might of my arm, yet in your vile arrogance you sought to kill him. Listen, Rama, my shrewdness cannot avail against my master, but my lord, I am a sinner even though I have found shelter in you at the hour of my death. When Sri Rama heard the most tender speech of the Vali, he stroked his head with his hands. I make your body mortal. You may keep up your life, said Vali. Listen, O ocean of the mercy, say, continue their efforts that God realization during successive birth, but at the last moment they failed to utter the name Rama, but he, on the strength of whose name Lord Shankara bestow immortality on all alike, had appeared in the visible form before my very eyes. Shall I ever get such a golden opportunity again? He has then appeared before me, a very eyes whose praises the Vedas even sings only the negative terms, and whose sakes are secretly able to perceive in their meditations, even after they have controlled their breath and the mind and freed their senses from the passion. Knowing me to be a victim of excessive pride, the Lord said to me, preserves your life, but who would be such a fool as to insist on cutting down a celestial tree and using it as a fence to protect the acacia tree? Now, my Lord, look upon me with compassion and grant me the boon that I ask. In whatever species of the life it may be fate to be born, I may continue to love Sri Rama as your feet, the son of the mine Angada by name, in my equal in humility and strength, or bestower of the blessedness. Therefore accept him, my master, and holding him by the arms, O Lord of gods and men, treat him as your servant. Intensifying his devotion to Sri Rama's feet, Vali dropped his body without his knowing it, even as elephant little knows the falling of the breath of the flowers from its neck. Sri Rama sent away the Vali to his own abode. All the people of the city ran in dismay with disheveled chairs and tottering framed Tara. Vali's wife wailed in many ways. When the Lord of Raghu saw her distress, he imparted to her wisdom and dispels her illusions. Made up of the fire element, that is earth, water, fire, ether, and air, his body is extremely vile. The mortal frame lies buried in the eternal sleep before your eyes, while the soul everlasting, for whom then you do lamentate. The light of the wisdom dawned on her, and now she embraced his feet and asked him to the boon of the supreme devotion. The Almighty Sri Rama, the Oma says, Bhavan Shankara make up all dance like so many jag meditatiness. Sri Rama then gave order to the Sugriva, who performed all the final rites with due ceremony. The next instructed his younger brother Lakshmana, go and crown Sugriva as the king. Bowing his head to the Lord of Raghu, all left the obedience of his order. Lakshmana immediately summoned the citizens and Brahmans, and in their presence crowned Sugriva as a king and installed Angada as a crowned prince. Uma, there is no such a friend. Sri Rama is in this verse neither preceptor, nor father, nor mother, nor brother, nor master, God, man, and the sex. All the rules have some selfish motive behind their law. The same Sugriva who trembled day and night in the fear of the Vali, who had many sore in his bodies and whose breast ever burned with the fire of anxiety, was made the king of the monkey, the hero of Raghunayan, extremely compassionate by nature. No wonder that man who knowingly abandoned such a Lord should be caught in the meshes of the calamity. The Lord then sent for the Sugriva and instructed him in the various principles of the scripture. Said the Lord, listen, O Sugriva, Lord of the monkey, I may not enter a town for the 4 years sentence. The hot season is now over and the rain have set in. I will therefore encamp on the hill not far from you. You and Angada rule over the kingdom and ever cherish my business in your heart. When Sugriva returned home, Sri Rama took his abode on the Pravarasana hill. The god had already kept ready to his charming cave in the mountain in the hope that all merciful Sri Rama would come and stay there for some time. The lovely forest, which is flower presented a most splendid sight, with his swarm of the bees humming in the greed of the honey. Delightful bulbs, roots, fruits, and the leaves grew in abundance from the times the Lord came there. Seeing the mountain incomparable in its charms, Sri Rama, the suzerain Lord of the god, stayed there with his younger brother, taking the form of bees, birds, and the bees. Gods, siddhas, and hermits did service to the Lord. The forest became a picture of felicity from the time Sri Ram, the Lord of Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, took up his residence there. There was a delightful and the glistening rock of the crystal on which the two brothers sat at ease. Sri Rama gave a discourse to his younger brother on many a topic such as devotion, dissipation, statecrafts, and the spiritual wisdom. As the rain had set in, the sky was overcast with the cloud with magical delightful rumbling noise. Look at the peacock danced at the sight of the cloud, even as a householder having his leaning towards this patient would rejoice to see the devotee of the Bhagwan Vishnu. The roaring clouds are terribly thundering in the skies. Bereft as I am of my darling Sita, my heart trembled to see all this. That lightning flashes fitfully amid the clouds, like the friendship of the wicked never endures. The pouring clouds cleaves close to the ground, even as it learns to beneath accumulated load. The mountains endures the buffeting of showers, even as sands would put up with the taunts of the wicked. The swelling streamlets rushed with the great speed, just like a wicked would feel elated even with a small fortune. The water becomes troubled the moment it descends on the earth, even as a jiva, the embodied soul, is enveloped in Maya as soon as born. The water coming from the various directions gathered into the pool, even as a commendable virtue, find their way into the heart of the noble soul. The water of the stream becomes still once it enters into the ocean, just as a ego finds eternal rest on the attaining union with Sri Hari. The green earth is so choked with grass that the track cannot be distinguished, just as a holy book are obscured by the heretic doctrine. On the all sides, on the heart of the delightful choking of the crocodile, which remains once of the best of the religious students, chanting the Vedas cloth with the new leaves of the trees of the different species. Look at the green and the cheerful as the mind of the striving soul who had attained spiritual wisdom. The leaf of the Akka and Javaska plants have fallen off. Even the under of the good governor, the plant of the wicked, come to the knot. Dust cannot be found even if one search for it, just as the piety of the sackers away by the anger. The earth rich with the crop appears in the delightful as the wealth of the generous man. It is in the thick darkness of the night, fireflies gleam like a mustard band of the hypocrites. ShriRam. Hypocrites. The embankment of the fields have been breached by the torrential rain, just as a woman gets spoiled by the freedom. Clever farmers weed out the grass from their crops, just as a wise discard infatuation, vanity, and the pride. The Chakraka birds are no more to be seen, just as a virtue disappeared with the Kali age. Even though it rains on the barren land, as well as not a blade of the grass sprout on it. Just as a confusion takes no root in the heart of the servants of the Sri Hari. The earth looks charming with the song of the various living creatures, even as a population grew under the good government. Many a weary travelers had stops here and there, just as with the dawning of the wisdom, the senses become still. Sometimes a strong wind would blow and disperse the clouds in various directions, just as with the birth of the unworthy son, the noble tradition of the family get extinct. Now it becomes pitch dark even during the day, while at other times the sun would shine brightly, just as the light of the vision obscures in the company of the wise and manifests itself in the company of the good. Look here, Lakshmana, the rain are over now, and the most charming autumn has arrived. The whole earth is covered by the kasha grass with its white flowers, as if the rainy season exposed its old age. The constellations known by the name of the Agastya conquerors has appeared and dried up in the water on the road, even as a contentment swallow greed. The limpid water of the rivers and lakes look charming as a saint's heart, devoid of pride and infatuation. But gradually the water. Slowly but gradually, the water of the streams and lakes is drying up, even as a wise shake off the possessive instincts, knowing that the autumn has set in the khajana birds, has made it appear just as a welcome fruit of one's meritorious deeds appears at the appointed time. Neither sooner nor later, devoid of the mud and dust, the earth has assumed a lovely aspect, just like an administration of the Mohammed male versus in the politics. The fish are distressed on account of the diminishing water, even as a improvident household suffering from want of the veneer. Cloudless sky shining as bright as a devotee of the Shri who has abandoned all desires. Here and there we have light autumnal showers, just as a rare soul comes to develop devotion to me. Kings and the ascetics, merchants and the mendicants are gladly leaving the cities. Kings by extending their dominions, ascetic in search of the suitable place for practicing penance, merchant for carrying on their trades, and mendicant for begging alms. Just as a man, any of the four stages of life, sees of the toil for perfection once they have acquired devotion to Sri Hari. In deep waters, the fish are the happy as ever, just as those who have taken refuge in Sri Hari never fall into a trouble of any kind. With full-blown lotuses, the lake appears charming as when the absolute Brahma appears with form. The bees are making a humming sound which possesses a unique melody of its own, and the birds a charming concerts of the diverse sounds. The Chakraka bird is sad at heart to see the night, just as a villain is grieved at the sight of the another's fortune. The Chatra cries out in the agony of the excessive thirst, just as the enemy of the Shankara knows no rest. The moon by night relieves the heat of the atom sun, just as the sight of the holy man drives away sin. Flocks of the Chakoras birds fix their gaze on the moon as soon as she comes to their views, even as a devotee of the Srihari on meeting him. Mosquitoes and glade fires has perished due to fear of the cold, just as hostility of the Brahmins brings ruin to the entire family. The insects that teems on the earth have perished with the advent of the Atmal, just as a man who have found a teacher in the real sense of the team is rid of all doubt and error. The rain are over and the Atmal, which is marked by the cloudless skies and the limpid water, has arrived. Yet, dear brother, we have received no news about the Sita. If only once I could anyhow come to know of her whereabout, I would recover her out of the hands of the even death himself. Wherever she may be, if only she is still alive, I would make an effort to rescue her. Dear brother, Sugriva too had forgotten me now that he has got a kingdom, a tragedy, and the amenity of the city life and his own spouse. I will shoot the fool tomorrow with the same arrow which I used in killing Wali, says Shankara. He whose very grace rid out of the pride and infatuation, could he ever dream of being angry? Uma, those enlightened sakes alone who has conceived a lot for the feet of the ShriRama, the hero of Raghurais, can know the inwardness of their conduct of his. When Lakshmana found the Lord angry, he struck his bows and took arrow in his hand. The Lord of Raghu, who was the highest limit of compassion, then instructed his younger brother, saying, Sugriva is our friend, dear brother. You should only frighten him and bring him here. There at Kishkinda, Hanumana, the son of the wind god, thought to himself, Sugriva has forgotten the task entrusted to him by ShriRama. Approaching Sugriva, therefore, he bowed his hat at his feet and tried to bring him round by employing all the four methods of persuasion. Sugriva felt much alarmed to hear the words of the Hanumana. Sensuality has robbed me of my senses. Now, O son of the wind god, troops of the monkey are scattered here and there, and batches of the messengers to them, and have it proclaimed that anyone who fails to appease before me within a fortnight shall meet his death at my hands. Thereupon Hanumana sent for the envious, and receiving them most politely charged them with the duty, making use of the threats, blandishments, and the persuasion. They all bowed their hat at the feet and proceeded to their journey. The very moment Lakshmana entered the city, seeing his angry monkey ran away helter and skelter. Lakshmana then struck his bow and arrow. I will burn the city to ashes by making use of the Agni Ashtra. Thereupon came Wali's son Prince Ankada, seeing the whole city in dismay. He bowed his head to the Lakshmana's feet and made humble petition to him, whereupon Lakshmana extended to him his protecting arms. When the reports of the Lakshmana wrath reaches the ears of the monkey king, Lord King Surya, he was terribly distracted with the fears and said, Listen, Hanumana, take Tara with you with her suppliant prayers. Appease the princess Lakshmana. Hanumana accordingly went with the queen Tara, and bowing at Lakshmana's feet and recounted the Lord's glory. With much supplication, he escorted the prince to the palace, and after leaving his feet, seated him on a couch. Then the monkey Lord Sugriva bowed his head at the prince's feet, while Lakshmana took him by the arms and hugged him. There is nothing so intoxicating, my lord, as a pleasure of the sense, which is an instant infatuated soul even of the sage. Lakshmana was gratified to hear his humble speech, and assured him in many ways. The son of the wind god told him all that had happened. In the meantime, how much of spices has been dispatched in various directions. Accompanied by Angana and another monkey, and placing ShriRama's younger brother at the head, King Sugriva went forth with joy and arrived in ShriRama's presence. Bowing his head at the ShriRama's feet, he exclaimed with joined palms, My lord, I am not at all to blame for what I have done. Exceedingly powerful Lord is your my deluding potency, which withdraws itself only when you, O Rama, shows your grace to Jiva. God, men and sex, my master, are all slaves or are slaves of their senses, while I am a wild brute and the monkey, the most vicious of the animal, a man who is not pierced by the shaft of the woman's glances, nay, who remains wakeful even in a dark night of the anger, who is not swayed by the passion, and who is never caught in the meshes of the greed, is as good as yourself, Lord of Raghu. It is the virtue which cannot be attained by the personal endeavor. It is only by your grace that one here and one there can acquire it. Thereupon the Lord of Raghu said and said, Brother, you are dear to me as Brahma. Now with all your heart make some organized effort whereby we may get tidings of the Sita. While the talk was thus going on between them, multitudes of monkey arrived. Legions of monkey of the various colors were visible in all the quarters. Says Shankara, I saw the army of the monkey Uma. He is indeed a fool who would try to count them. They came and bowed their head to the Sri Rama's feet and found their true lord to him when they gazed on his countenance. In the whole host there was no monkey whose welfare Sri Rama did not personally inquire. This was no miracle of the master, the lord of Raghu, who has taken all the forms and is omnipresent. They stood in the martial array as an order, and King Sugriva thus instructed them all. I exhort and commission you to do Sri Rama's work. Therefore, O monkey host, go forth in the every direction and institute a search for the Janaka's daughter. But you should all return in course of a month. My brother, he who returns beyond this limit without any news shall meet his death at my hands. On hearing the commands of the monkey, proceeded at once in the various directions. Sugriva has then called Angada, Nila, and the Hanumana. Listen, O Nila, Angada, Hanuman, and Jaman, you are all resolute of mind and wise. Protect all of your gallant warriors together to the south and inquire of everyone you meet the whereabouts of Sita. Devise means through mind, speech, and action to trace Sita and thereby accomplish this object of Sri Ramachandra. For warning oneself, one should wait upon the sun turning one's the back towards the same, while fire should be veiled upon the turning one's breast towards it. But a master must be served with one's own being, the thoughts, words, and deed, without resorting of any wile. Similarly, one should strive for lasting happiness in the other words by discarding the unrealities of the world. In this way, all ones whose incidents to birth and death are eradicated. The consummation of the human birth, breath, and lies in the worshipping Sri Rama in a disinterested spirit. He is verily a man who flare, and he alone is highly blessed who is enormous of the Sri Rama's feet. Taking leave of Sugriva and bowing their head at his feet, they joyously set out with their thought fixed on the Lord of the Raghu. The last to make obeisance was Hanumana, the son of the wind god. The Lord knew that his work was going to be accomplished by him, and therefore called him near. He stroked his head with his lotus hands, and recognizing him to be his devotee, gave him the ring of his finger. Comfort Sita in various ways and returns quickly. After telling her of my might and the agony of my heart due to separation from her, Hanumana felt that she had reaped the reward of his birth and departed with the image of the all-merciful enshrined in his heart. Although the Lord knew everything, the protector of the God respected the recognized principle of the statesman by sending spices in the first instance to trace out his lost spouse. All the monkeys set forth, ransacking wood, streams, lakes, hills, and the ravine, with their minds wholly devoted to Sri Rama's business and shaking off all attachment to their body. If at any place they came across some demons, they would take his life by the single slap. They looked upon into the every recess of the forest and hill, and if they met a hermit, they would all surround him. Presently they felt much oppressed with the thirst, but water could be found nowhere, and they also lost their ways to in the dense forest. Hanumana thought to himself that without water to drink, all would die. Climbing a hilltop, he looked all round and, noticing a cavity in the ground, saw a strange phenomena there. Chakrakas, herons, and the swan hovered at the mouth, and a number of the other birds were making their ways into it. Coming down the hill, Hanumana, the son of the wind god, took them all and showed them the cavern. They placed Hanumana at their head and entered the cave without further loss of the time. Going further, they saw a lovely garden and a lake with many full-blown lotuses. There stood a beautiful temple close by, where sat a woman who was austerity incarnate. From a distance of all bowed their head to her, and in response to her inquiry told her all about themselves. She then said, "Go and drink water and partake of beautiful and delicious fruits of the various kinds." They bathed and took some delicious fruits, and all came once more to her. She related to them her own stories from the beginning to the end, and added, "I will now go and see the Lord of the Raghu. Close your eyes and you will find yourself outside the caravan. You shall find Sita. You need not feel remorse. The champions closed their eyes and looking again, they found themselves standing on the seashore. She, on her part, went to the Lord of Raghuvendi, drawing near to his, bowed her head at his lotus feet. She made supplication in diverse ways, and the Lord granted to her unceasing devotion. Going to the Lord's command, she left for the forest of the Badrinath in the Himalayas, crashing in her heart ShriRama's feet that are adored by the unborn Brahma as well as by the Lord Shankara. On the sides, standing on the sea coast, the monkey thought to themselves, the time limit fixed by the Sugriva has expired, yet nothing has been done. Sitting together, they all said to another, without obtaining news about the Sita, what shall we gain by returning to Kishkinda either? Said Angada with eyes full of tears, it is death for the both ways. Here we have failed to get tidings of Sita, and if we go home, King Sugriva, the Lord of Monkey, will behead us. He would have finished me immediately. My father was killed had no ShriRamas protected me. Hence I owe no gratitude to him. Again and again Angada told them all, our death has arrived, there is no doubt about it. When the monkey chief heard Angada's words, they could make no answer, and tears rolled from their eyes. For a moment they remained plugged in the sorrow, but at last they spoke as follows, we are not going to return without obtaining news of the Sita, O sagacious princess. So saying, all the monkeys went to the seashore and spreading kosha grass there, squatting on it. Seeing Angada's distress, Jaman, the old bear chief, gave a highly instructive discourse. Imagine not Rama to be the mortal, dear child. Know him to the same as the Brahma, the supreme, without attributes, invincible and unborn. We, his servants, are all highly blessed in that we are ever devoted to the same Brahma, endowed with a qualified form. On his own free will, the Lord descends on the earth for the sake of the gods, earth cows, and the Brahmans. Spurning all the varieties of the final beatitudes, the worshippers of his qualified form come down and remain with him even on earth. Thus they discourse among themselves in many ways. Sampati, Jatayu's older brother, heard them from the cave of the mountain. When he came out of it and saw a host of the monkey, he said to himself, God has provided me with a feast, I will devour them all today. I have been serving for the many days past and have never had a full meal. Today God has supplied me with abundant food all the times. The monkey trembled with fear to hear the vulture's words on our doom is now sealed, we are sure. They said to themselves. All the monkeys rose when they saw the vultures, while Jaman felt much perturbed at heart. Angada reflected within himself and said, there is no one so blessed as Jatayu, who laid down his life in the service of the ShriRam and ascends to the abode of the Srihari. Supremely lucky as he was. When the bird Sampati heard these words, which spared to him a fixed feeling of joy and the grief, he drew near to the monkey, who felt alarmed by his presence. Assuring them of the safety, he went and inquired them about his younger brothers, and the monkey told him in the whole stories. When Sampati heard of his brothers' obsequies performed by the Lord with his own hands, he glorified the Lord of the Raghu in many ways. Take me the seashore so that I may make an offering of the water with sesame seeds to my departed brother. I can help you only verbally. ShriRama, I can help you only verbally, by following which you will succeed in recovering her whom you seek. Having performed the after-death ceremony in respect to his departed brothers, Jatayu on the seashore, Sampati narrated his own story. Listen, O monkey chief, in the prime of our youth, we two brothers, Jatayu and myself, soared in the heaven and approached the orb of the sun. Jatayu could not bear the heat of the sun and came back, but I, in my pride, advanced near to the sun. My wings were scorched with the inordinate heat, and I fell to the ground with a fearful scream. A Sheikh Chandrama by name, who lived there, here was moved with compassion. When he saw me, he taught me the spiritual wisdom in many ways and rid me of my identification with the body. In the Treta age, the Supreme Spirit will take the form of the human being. With the demon king, Ravana will carry off his spouse. The Lord will send out spices to search for her, and you will be absorbed on all sides by meeting them. Your wings will sprout again. Worry not any longer on that account. You will have to do only this work, show where Sita may be. Then the sake prediction has come true today. Therefore follow my instructions and set about the business of your Lord. On the summit of the Trihuta hill stand the city of the Lanka. Ravana, who is fearless by the nature, lives there. There is a Ashoka garden. It is lodged Sita, who sits there plugged in grief even now.
I see her though you cannot, for the range of the vulture's sight is unlimited. I have grown old now, or else I would have rendered some help to you. He who can cross over the ocean, having a width of the 800 miles and a repository of intelligence, will be able to do Sri Rama's business. Look at me and take courage in your heart. See how rejuvenate I feel in the body with a new pair of the wings. By Sri Rama's grace, even sinners who invoke Sri Rama's name are able to cross the vast and the boundless ocean of the mundane existence. You therefore, who are his spies, should never lose nerves but be up and doing with the image of Sri Rama and shine in your heart. So saying, O Garuda, continue. Kavya, the vulture departed, leaving them much amazed at heart. Now each one of the monkeys talked of his own strength, but doubted his ability to leap across. Said Jaman, the king of the bear, I am now too old, and not a particle of my former strength is left in my body. When Sri Rama, the slayer of the demon Khara, showed the form of the Trivikarma, the Lord with three strides, Lord Vamna, I was young and possessed great strength. In his effort to make Vali captive, the Lord grew an indescribable size, yet in less than an hour I devoutly circumambulate his as many as 7 times. Said Angada, I will leap across, but I have some diffidence in my heart about my getting back. Jaman, however, interposed, even though you are competent in every way, how can we send you, the leader of us all? The king of the bear then returns towards Hanumana. Listen, O mighty Hanumana, now how is it that you are keeping mum? A son of the wind god, you are strong as your father and as a storehouse of the intelligence, discretion and spiritual wisdom. What undertaking in this world is too difficult in you to accomplish, dear child? It is for the service of Sri Rama that you have come down upon the earth. The moment Hanumana heard these words, he grew in the size of the mountain with a body shining as a gold and full of splendor as though he was another king of the mountain Sumeru. Roaring again and again like a lion, he said, I can easily spring across the salt ocean and killing Ravana with all his army can uproot the Trihuta hill and bring it here. But I ask you, Jaman, kindly tender me suitable advice. All that you have to do, my son, is to go and see Sita and come back with her tidings. Then the lotus-eyed Sri Rama will recover her by the strength of his arm, taking with him a host of the monkey former sports. Taking with him an army of the monkey, Sri Rama will exterminate the demons and bring back Sita, and the god as well as Narada and other saints will utter his praises. That sanctifying the three spheres. A man who here sings, repeats, the studies them will attain to the supreme states, and Tulsidas, who is devoted like bee to the lotus feet of the hero of Raghurai, never sings them. Sri Rama, the slayer of the demon Trisha, will grant all the desires of those men and the women who listen to Sri Rama's praises. The remedy for the disease of the transmigration. Listen to the praises of Sri Rama, who possessed a form dark as a blue lotus, who by his allegiance extinguished millions of cupids, and whose name is a veritable flower for the bird in the shape of the sin. Verse 23, for the 30 days recitation Sri Ram Charitmanse Sakal Kalik Lush Vidvanse Chaturth Sopana Samaptad. Thus ends the fourth ascent in the Mansa lake of the Sri Rama exploit that eradicates all the impurities of the Kali. Sri Ramayana.